This is a suggestion via a channel member, guys. The name of the video is Kamala Harris accused of looking for an escape hatch from the Trump debate. Bro, are you surprised? I'm not surprised. I mean, we're sitting here right now arguing over if we should mute the mics. That's not important. How about this? Let's just have this debate. Let's have it right now. All right? And yes, the mic should be muted going forward. But either way, let's check it out. Let's jump into it.
The Trump campaign says Kamala Harris is looking for an out with just a little more than a week to go until their first debate.
I think that the Harris campaign is looking for an escape hatch. They refuse to accept the terms of the debate, which
have they changed?
Everyone had already agreed to it. We'd agreed to it.
Again?
ABC's agreed to it. The rules are the rules. They're not changing. But Kamala Harris and her campaign, they're afraid. Want to know why? Because she's going to have to answer for every bit of this last 3.5 years.
President of District Media Group and fellow at Independent Women's Forum, Beverly Hallberg, joins me now. Beverly, cut through all the noise in this.
All right, let's go.
Been going on for weeks now. Will they, won't they? This thing, that thing, mics, not mics. What's the deal? What's really going on here?
Well, we're going to have to wait and find out to see what she actually agrees to. But I think the way the Harris campaign is running the campaign is very reminiscent of how Joe Biden ran his basement campaign strategy 4 years ago. It seems that what Democrats want to do is keep Harris out of the spotlight as much as possible. Anytime she's not around the teleprompter, they want to keep her quiet. Look at the data so far. She has not done a solo interview. She has not held a press conference. And now a debate, which are the same rules that Joe Biden agreed to during his CNN debate, she seems to be having cold feet.
Guys, think about this here for a second. Yeah, she will have to, in fact, respond for exactly how the United States of America has been functioning over the last 3 years. Why do I say that? Why do they say that? For example, hear me out. So now, if Biden, for the first time, basically, decides that he no longer wants to run, he wants to basically pass the nomination to his vice president, how much has she actually been running for the entirety of the presidency? Think about that for a second. How much has she actually done? Probably the majority of it. Everything that we've experienced has already been Kamala Harris, specifically if the president of the United States of America is stepping down and giving it to her. Why? Because she's been doing it anyway, basically. That's kind of what I'm forecasting here. Again, I'm an outsider. I'm looking in. But based off of what we're encountering, yeah, I think so.
And so I think this is going to be hard for her team to say that she's not going to do this debate when Joe Biden did it himself. And I think the American people are going to demand this debate. But it shows the cold feet for a good reason, because I think they honestly see that she's struggling to be able to stay on message. And it's also about the optics. Is she optically going to have the type of not just substance, but style that she needs?
It's a great question. Trump explaining why he thinks VP Harris will only do this debate on one network, that network, ABC.
Go ahead.
But that's the only one she'll go to. Now, the other one is the head of ABC is her best friend and her husband's best friend, too. And,
softball questions.
And I had to make a decision. Do I want to debate? I'd like to debate him.
Yeah, to be clear, what Donald Trump's talking about, he is commenting on reporting that a very, very high-level executive at ABC is very close friends with Doug Emhoff and Kamala Harris. So with that in mind, to Trump's point, can voters trust ABC to be right down the middle and impartial in this debate with all of America watching?
No. Bro, not a single network that produces content surrounding the elections can be fair and impartial. Not a single one, okay?
Well, this
That's
is
the
where
reality.
America will call them out if they're not. Now, I do think that there's always bias when you deal with legacy media. It is not a shock to the American people that ABC is not friendly toward Donald Trump and his policies. But I give Donald Trump a lot of credit where he says, I'm willing to go wherever I need to go to debate Kamala Harris. And again,
that's fair.
Putting the spotlight on someone who seems afraid to debate him. And so I think he's putting her in this tough position of having to say yes. Again, it's the same rules that Joe Biden agreed to. Why won't Kamala Harris agree to those same rules? I think at the end of the day, we're going to see her next week on that debate stage, and I think the rules are going to stay as is.
Let's create a hypothetical here. Neither party can really claim victory on September 10th at 11 o'clock once the debate is over. Both sides claim some sort of victory. Basically, what I'm saying is it's not a bloodbath like June 26 when Joe Biden and Donald Trump debated. Do you think they do a second debate?
I don't think so at this point. I would love more debates. I'm always going to push for that. But I think this is what both candidates need to accomplish. Now, for Donald Trump, who is very quick on his feet, I think he has to be careful about looking like a bully towards Kamala Harris. Stick to the policies, leave the personal insults alone.
I've said this a lot now, guys. Yeah, definitely. You are going to have to, based off of just how people perceive reality, right? You are this big over 6 foot man, right, talking to a woman, right? Like how it looks is wild, right? So you're going to have to stick to the actual policies specifically, and she has none. So that's going to be super interesting to encounter, right, on that end at least, right? Now, I've always said specifically, I do think that if you're going to do any type of debates, for example, they definitely need to be somewhere impartial, but all this legacy media, like she even mentioned, including this network here, right? They should not be on any of these networks at all. I'm all for pick someone at random, okay, around the country and take over their living room, okay, or take over their dinner table. I'm down for that, right? Just have a small setting, cameras everywhere, random house, and let's move on, okay? You can put this on his website or her website and just basically allow people to stream it. Take the bias completely out of it immediately, and then guess what? We'll have something somewhat fair and impartial at the very least, guys. But all right.
Let Kamala Harris bury herself. Now, on Kamala Harris's standpoint, she cannot have word salad. She has to seem commanding. And even in her recent interview with CNN, where she had Tim Walz on her side, the eye contact was poor. There was hesitancy. She has to come out in a commanding way. And I think if she doesn't, this could be really bad for her. I don't think it's going to be as significant as the Biden debate, but I think this could seal the deal for whether or not people think Kamala Harris is competent enough, especially in communication, in order to be president.
So if we remember back to what we're calling the Biden debate, soon thereafter, actor George Clooney wrote an op-ed basically calling on Joe Biden to step down, and he was questioned about it. His answer, curious. Listen.
Go ahead.
You know, I've actually never had to answer that question, so I suppose I'll do it here. The person who should be applauded is the president who did the most selfless thing that anybody's done since George Washington. And that's true.
Except, Beverly, George Washington didn't have an op-ed from a popular actor at the time demanding that he step down. Where's the shame in George Clooney, Beverly?
Like, how could you even say, like, even write on paper, I love Joe Biden? I'm trying to figure out what this man has done. Like, I've never been like, super partial to 95 crime bill Biden, guys. I didn't care if he ran for president later on in life. I don't care about none of that. I've never liked him. I've never liked his politics. I've never liked anything kind of regarding what he has done to the United States of America. But let's continue.
It really is quite rich.
You love Joe Biden.
I actually view this as typical bullying tactics. Here you had George Clooney, who didn't do this on his own. I don't think he wrote this op-ed. He has ghostwriters.
No, most likely
I think
not.
He had Democrats behind him. Put an op-ed out forcing Joe Biden to leave, as well as other Democrats forcing him. And I think the deal they gave him was, if you do this, we are going to praise you. We're going to talk about putting you on Mount Rushmore. We're going to call you selfless. We are going to make comparisons to George Washington and being the best president who ever lived. I think this was his concession prize, so to speak, by actually caving to their bullying tactics.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. Not a single actor has that much pull. And we're talking about George Clooney. All right. Most likely, the generation right under me, specifically the Gen Zers, guys, they don't know who this man is, bro. What are you talking about? That's not really a thing, okay?
Again,
he doesn't have that much pull
people
in
buy it. Most people see it for
Washington.
what it is. But apparently with Democrats, they still go on with the same narrative, whether or not it's true.
Yeah, George Washington didn't spend 16 straight days at a beach. George Washington's experience with water was crossing the Delaware and basically winning the Revolutionary War. Beverly Hallberg, we appreciate your time. Have a great Labor Day. We appreciate you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
All right, guys. Guys, does it specifically surprise me that Kamala Harris is looking for any way humanly possible to escape this? No, It doesn't. It doesn't surprise me because she's been hiding. Like, ever since she's gotten this nomination, she went to the DNC. They basically threw her a party. And that was basically it. Why do you vote for me? I don't like Trump. Vote for me. That's not the reason to vote for... Oh, God, Kamala Harris. That's not the reason to vote for you. Like, what are you going to do for the country? What are you going to do for the gaping maw we're currently calling our southern border? What are you going to do about this? Nothing. Allow it, because that was your job, right? Like, so I look back and I think about all the things you could have done, and I don't really see anything. Like, nothing moves me to you, Kamala Harris, personally, right? Nothing does. But you know what? Listen. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think she's running on purpose, guys? Do you think so? And if you guys are new here, please like and subscribe, guys. I'll catch you guys later. Guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd, along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.